Alright guys, today we're looking at being able to evaluate radical expressions. Radical expressions are nothing weird or odd. You've seen them many times before. They are just expressions that look like this, with a root symbol and then some kind of number or variables underneath. Okay. What we also find, and you may have had some experience with them before or not, is that there can also be a number right here. So if we see, for example, this, that means the square root of 16. Okay, and we don't actually see a number there. But what we could also see is something along these lines, the cube root of 8. Okay, where 16 tries to figure out what number squared equals 16. This tries to figure out what number cubed equals 8. They're very, very similar things. So all of these different pieces, some of them have names. The number or number in variables, whatever's underneath the radical symbol, is called the radicand. The root symbol here is called the radical symbol, or the radical. And if you do have a number there, that's called the index. This word, I don't know, I haven't honestly used it a whole lot, but the radical symbol and radicand, those are two very important symbols. The only thing that you really need to know about evaluating radicals is that if there's an operation underneath a single radical, it acts like it's in parentheses. Okay, so like for A, we need to evaluate 5 plus 7 first to get 12. And then from there, we need to actually take the square root of 12, which you just have to use a calculator for. We get 3.46. Here, since it's two separate radicals, what we would do there is we would evaluate each of those roots separately. So square root of 6 is 2.45, and the square root of 11 is going to be a little bit less than that last one we had. That's going to be 3.32. And then we add those together to get 5.77. So, I mean, this is really nothing big or revolutionary. We just have to, if there's an operation under a radical, do that first. So try C and D on your own and round to 2 decimal places. Come back and see what you get. Alright, I'm assuming you're back and have done that. Hopefully you actually paused and tried it. That's the point. So for this one, you should have multiplied the 3.6 and 5.7 first, then taken the square root, and ended up with 4.53 when we round to 2 decimal places. Here, you're going to take the square root of 384 first. It would come around the same, it would come at the same step as exponents in order of operations. So we need to simplify our numerator first, and since square root of 384 is the same thing as an exponent, happens in that exponent step, we'll evaluate that first and we'll round it to 19.60. Then we'll take negative 70 and add it to that, and that's going to get us negative 50.4. And then we got to take negative 50.4 and divide it by 12, and we get 4.2. That's really it for evaluating radicals. Again, oops, sorry about that. It's about the same as our regular order of operations, and that's really about it. So try a few practice problems, take a concept quiz, and hopefully first lesson goes pretty smoothly.